Welcome to SBR TV. This is our College Football Experts Roundtable. Today we're going to take a look at some of the games from College Football Week 13, joined once again by regular guests Steve from collegefootballwinning.com and Doug Upstone from impactwageриngsolutions.com. Thanks, guys, for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
Peter.
All right, first of all, I'd like to just congratulate all of us on our awesome pick of Houston last week. That wound up being a relatively easy cover, although maybe at halftime didn't quite seem that way. So thanks, guys. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Excellent. Very good job. And this upcoming week, it's kind of a quirky week because there's a lot of rivalry games, a lot of bowl eligibility games, a lot of teams playing for nothing, a lot of senior days, stuff like that. So we got 6 games that we're going to talk about, and we'll see if you can give us some more winners. Let's start with Doug, with one of your games, and you picked the Penn State-Wisconsin game. Now, I'm not exactly sure why you picked this game. This is a tough game when I look at it because Wisconsin's been absolutely dominant at home. They've destroyed Purdue. They destroyed Nebraska. Of course, Penn State, you know, they got a win last week. It's not clear where their energy, their motivation level will be here. But why did you pick this game? What side do you like?
Well, there's a variety of different ways to look at this game, but I'm going to choose just the one. Now, you know, Penn State, really what they're doing is getting by running the ball with Silas Red and playing sensational defense. And what would really help them to do a better job overall is if Matt McGloin, their quarterback, got hotter than Brooklyn Decker and is able to connect to his big play wide receivers, Derek Moy and Justin Brown.
Wow.
Now, in this case, Penn State, though, is only 4-11 against the spread as a road underdog since 2003. Now, Wisconsin really has a great chance to overcome 2 horrific road losses with a victory at Camp Randall. Now, really, this doesn't look like a fair fight when you compare the offenses. Now, the Badgers' running game is so good, they average 39% more yards per game than what their opponents have allowed all season long, led by, of course, Monty Ball toting the pigskin. Now, while Penn State only permits 13 points per game, Wisconsin only gives up 15.9 themselves. The Badgers are 15-4 against the number in their last home games, and we have a system that really works well. In this case, we look to play against road underdogs like Penn State that are off a conference win in which they were an underdog of 6 or more points against a team that won by 10 or more points, also against a conference foe. In this situation, the play against team is 30-6 against the number. The home team in this series is 4-1 against the spread and straight up, and each of those 5 games has been determined by double digits. We got a double-digit spread, and Wisconsin covers it.
Yeah, this reminds me a little bit of when we talked about the Wisconsin-Nebraska game, and before we talked about it, I was sort of confused on that line. After we talked about it, I was convinced that Wisconsin was the right play. It was a similar spread. I think it was 9.5 or something, and we all pretty much agreed that Wisconsin was the bet there, and they did wind up getting an easy cover. Steve, what do you make of this line? Is this similar to the Nebraska game where Wisconsin is likely to just absolutely blow them out?
I don't quite see it that way. And looking at this game, I'm looking at another trend, and both teams are pretty bad against the spread. But here's a trend that I'm sort of studying with this game. When Wisconsin faces defenses that are in the top 40 or even in the top 20, they have not fared well. In fact, they've done that 3 times this season. They faced total defenses in the top 20. Michigan State, Ohio State, Illinois, they lost all 3 times against the spread. Here they're facing another total defense that's ranked number 8. And before we go thinking, sure, but Penn State has no offense, Illinois certainly has not been impressing anybody, nor has Ohio State with their offense. And again, Wisconsin lost against the spread to those teams. This is in Camp Randall, and that sometimes is a totally different ball of wax. But both teams are motivated. They're both playing for the top of the leaders division here and for the right to go to the Big Ten championship game. 14.5 points just seems like a little much to be laying for Penn State. So my conclusion, or laying against Penn State, my conclusion is I'm leaning to Penn State and taking more than 2 touchdowns.